where to begin? Where to begin? The beginning of history, of her story, of the universe. Where do you begin with cycle wisdom? You know, maybe we'll begin with my journey. So my journey with my cycle, and it's really important for me to say cycle because my guides are so insistent that whether you bleed or not, whether you menstruate or not, if you identify with being feminine, this cycle is yours. It's part of who you are. It's part of your energy. If you stop bleeding, the cycle is as important as if you are bleeding. If you were born not able to bleed, the cycle is as important as if you do bleed or you stop bleeding. You know, the cycle is the cycle. It is so much more than the physical bleed, and that's why I'm saying cycle. But my journey did begin for me with the bleed, and changing my relationship with my bleeding time. And it was such a beautiful and poetic and sacred journey of going from perceiving this thing that was happening in my body as an annoyance and something painful and something to be ashamed of and something that was even referred to as a curse, to understanding that this was an incredible process of healing. And so for me, my journey with my cycle was about using it to heal, and then using it to connect more fully to the earth. And I fell in love with this time of the month. I fell in love with all that it was kind of giving me, and it became, and it still is, so magical. You know, stop being on the Gregorian calendar and started happening when I needed it. It was like my periods consciousness ascended and it connected me more intimately to the earth than nearly anything else, and than any other kind of ritual or ceremony. And so for years, my period, my bleed has been part of my spirituality and my ceremony and my healing. And yet I've never ever thought of it as a tool for manifestation, or more than a tool. I don't think you could call your cycle a tool, as an oracle for manifestation, or a force, or a wheel of creation for manifestation. And during a course that we had last year called The Rise of the Divine, which is an incredible deep dive into the feminine self, my guides added a section to this course that was about using your cycle to manifest. And this was so changing for me. It was so special for me, because even though I'd given all of this love and time and listening and ceremony and conversation and attention to my bleed, and sometimes to the time before my bleed, I hadn't really put much thought at all into what was happening the rest of the time. And what was amazing was suddenly I was in connection with my deep self, with my tantric self, with my desiring magic, with my deep feminine power the whole month. I was suddenly in it the whole month. And that, changed my relationship to my body, gave me more energy, and unlocked this realization that there is this whole side to our cycle that we're not working with, that we're not using, that we're not harnessing. And through that mini experience, every part of me was just going, this has got to be its own thing. This has got to be its own course, its own journey. And now the time for it is here. And every part of me is still in kind of shock that in terms of manifestation and creation, we do not turn more to our cycle, because our cycle is the beginning of human life. There is nothing that can teach us more about the manifestation of the physical reality than the source of that manifestation of the physical reality. And as the guidance about this course is coming through, and it is doing it in a feminine way, which means, it's revealing slowly. As it's coming through, I'm understanding, how important the seasons, the archetype, the Amrita, how there is so much that we're not hearing, that we're not harnessing, that we're not holding. And there is a part of me that just knows, that knows in that deep feminine way that this Herculean task that we are living through of manifesting, new realities, 5D realities, we need to consciously know how to do that, and our feminine energy does, and it's waiting for us. It's waiting for us to not just use it for healing, to use it for creation, to use it for manifestation, to hear what this portal that we live every single month can do. And so this is the journey, and there's so much, the guides are talking all, when I'm tuning in, they're talking all about Amrita, which is the feminine magic of manifesting out of nothing. They are talking in depth about the archetypes, about creation, which is manifesting out of love, about the seasons, about the hormones, about so much. of the cycle that even being quite a cycle person, I have never considered. And so I'm just so excited, and the way the goddess teaches is through experience. It's not through a concept, it's through creating a portal for you to live it. It's through that primordial learning where, yes, things are taught to you, but it's the living of it that is the becoming and the birthing of it. And this is the only way that the goddess can teach, or certainly from my understanding of how she channels through me, how the collective feminine channels through me. And so who knows where this journey will go? It's going to be different for everybody that's called. But you will know if you're meant to do this journey, because there will be inside of you this part of you that's going, yes, this part of you that just knows that what you know about manifestation isn't the knowledge that is inside you realized, isn't the circle of creation realized. And when you realize it, then you really become a creatrix, a queen, a goddess, a woman, way shower, a birther of the rainbow prayer, the new earth. And it's a journey of love. Of creating, of manifesting out of love. And actually knowing how to do that. And so if you are called, I cannot wait to be in circle with you and send all of you so many blessings, so much love.